Justin. Okay. All right, we're going to move on to safe routes to school session.
Okay. A couple of years ago, I approached the county commissioners with a safe routes to school project for the Florence school, and the commissioners ended up getting involved in a very serious way in terms of trying to develop better ways for kids to get to and from the school. And one of the plans that we come up with was to develop a trail, asphalt trail on the school's property from Iowa Avenue up by the park along the south border of the school's property that is the lot that we currently sit on in the district office, and to tie that trail into the existing asphalt trail that goes from the Florence Baptist Church down to Gary Leo's. It was also to extend this trail from the Baptist Church all the way down to Tie Chute, so that we could extend a pathway all the way to Tie Chute. Now, one of the things that we were looking at trying to do is to delineate the parking areas on Old Highway 93, and to create no parking zones and drop-off and pick-up parking zones, and to better define handicap parking zones. We also were looking at, trying to do some bump outs and some signage and some lighting along those crosswalks, so that we would have shorter crosswalks that better define, that it is a crosswalk for the kids. The county commissioners stepped up in a big way and offered their CTEP dollars to assist in this project. Bids were let out for this project in the month of April, and the bids came in under the estimated value of what we were projecting. As a result, some additive alternates that were in the bid project were asked if they should maintain or stay in the project. And one of the additive alternate bids was to take a look at doing some landscaping between the curbing and the trail down along the school district's property here and on this parking lot. Now, in order to do that, the county required that the school district step up in the state that it's going to take over and water this area so that the shrubs and trees that are planted in this area do not go to seed, so that they actually have the water and are actually able to grow. Otherwise, the county is going to be charged a fee by the state. When the state drives by and sees that the shrubs aren't growing, the state's going to come in and replant them and then send a bill to the county. The county does not want to get into having to manage or water these trees. So in order for that additive alternate to be added to the bid package, it was requested that the board give consideration to taking the responsibility on. And having looked at the irrigation system, in order to get the controls, the wiring, and the irrigation piping down to that area, in order to place a drip system into each of the shrubs on this part of the trail system along the school's property, it is estimated to be in the range of $3,000 to $3,500 in order to do all of that. And so I surveyed the board to ask your opinion on it so that the county can move forward, and it is now time to ask for a vote of the board to see if the board members are willing to move forward in order for this part of the project to be accepted by the state. Please be aware that the additive alternate bid is around $9,000. School district's portion or responsibility is just to get the water down there and do it, which would be roughly $3,000. Without the investment, then the $9,000 would not be invested by the state.
Also, second discussion. End of year money considered to
So we have matching responsibilities to this project monies that we have set aside that the school district agreed to originally when it was started this project, that we would match the project with. Because the bids came in low, our match is less And so what we were planning on as a match, we will use those monies to address the need here.
When will they do that, or by the next school year, or?
The construction on it is planning to happen the Monday following the release of the school year for the students. So the contractors are lined up and ready to go in order to come in and start their dirt work that they're going to need to do to complete this project.
When you called me and told me, and I said I didn't think I would be interested in that. I never did give you any reasons, but I'll say that I believe $3,500 is the first year, and then when the pipes break, freeze up and stuff, it's an ongoing thing with those things all the time. I believe there's enough shrubs and stuff over there to just take care of the aesthetics the way it sits, or there may be, but I never done.
No, that's just about exactly what I commented too. I think in days when we're trying to look for, when we're laying features off and cutting costs, I think this is above and beyond the original scope of the project. And I agree with you. It only $3,500 this year, but then there's, there'll be costs, future costs associated with this project.
Do we have an approval letter from CTEP yet for this project? We did. Is that available?
So that's $9,000 that they just want to do that extra. Could they do something different with it so that we don't lose that money, or does it have to be, can it be proposed differently? So
I'm sorry, I missed all that, whatever comments we're making right there, or is it worth
There
it
is
just
a
not?
comment, Mike, about whether or not we have a record of the CTEP okaying our project, of which I said yes, we did. Then we have a question whether the $9,000 could be spent some other way that instead of the landscaping.
Okay.
So to answer your question, Reva, this is part of a construction bid, and it was an additive alternate that the county had asked. We could go ahead and accept it as part of this bid package. If we do, then the contractor is agreeing to come in and do this work at this level. If not, then the money does not get spent and it reverts back to the county for future CTEP projects.
All right, I'm going to call for the questions. The motion is to accept, not accept. Would you read that motion again?
Dorothy Rose moved to go ahead and do the added to run irrigation for between $300 and $3,500 at Avenue Section.
Call for the question. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.